Hi and welcome to my channel. So I'm Melvis. Basically, I work for the NHS as an advanced nurse practitioner, and I also have a private coaching service where I support nurses, student nurses, and carers with career progression in the UK. So basically, if you're in the UK and you're looking to specialize, you want a senior position, you're looking for the best specialties to work in, you're looking for, just the best nursing job for yourself, then, I'm your girl basically. So you need to get in touch with me. You can check the description box below. You can find more information about my coaching program and we'll just take it from there. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about a summary of various immigration rules and policies that are currently hot at the moment. So basically, depending on whether you're already in the UK or you're still out of the UK, some of it may or may not be relevant to you, but either way, it's still important to watch the video till the end so that you know exactly what is going on. Because even though these changes may not affect you personally, it may affect people that you know, or some of the changes may affect you in the future. So it's worth just sharing the video with anybody that you think that it's going to be relevant for. Like I've said, obviously there's good news and there's bad news depending on your perspective. So we'll start with the good news really. So last month, the British Prime Minister basically announced that she was going to be adding more jobs within catering and hospitality to the shortage occupation list. So I've done a full video about this. So if you want to know more, just check again the link in the description box below once you've watched this video. But I'll still tell you some information about it. So basically, the shortage occupation list, if the UK wants to recruit overseas workers, and if the salary is low, for example, say it's below £25,000, that particular role needs to be added to the shortage occupation list to enable UK employers to recruit overseas workers. So in catering and hospitality, these are jobs such as working in hotels, farming industry, working in restaurants, working in as cleaners, really just jobs like that, as waiters in pubs, in bars, in clubs. So those sorts of jobs really. So obviously many of them are paid less than £25,000 per year. So in order to recruit overseas workers, they will all need to be added to the shortage occupation list. So the Prime Minister announced that she will be adding these jobs to the shortage occupation list so that recruiters can recruit staff overseas. And the thing is, before Brexit happened, which is obviously the UK leaving the European Union, workers were coming from EU countries to do these jobs in the UK, working in restaurants, working in hotels, working in clubs, in bars, in pubs. So since Brexit, obviously the immigration rules have changed as well for European citizens coming to the UK. So what this has done is that because not many people are coming to the UK from the EU, these jobs are now unfilled. Employers, UK employers that were relying on these European workers have found themselves dry, like they've got no staff right now, and some of these businesses are closing. And as we all know, it's beneficial for the government if businesses are open and running, because these businesses pay tax, these businesses keep people employed, it reduces unemployment rate, which are obviously great statistics for any government's reputation. So that's the reason why the Prime Minister is considering adding these jobs to the shortage occupation list so that overseas staff can be recruited. So obviously these are unskilled jobs, which means that you're going to you wouldn't need obviously like a degree or things like that to apply for these jobs. So what I'll say is get your passport ready, and in terms of requirements, you're going to need obviously to get a UK visa, you always need some evidence of English, obviously, because even if you're working in a hotel, you're working in a restaurant, you're harvesting fruit and veg, you still need to be able to communicate in basic English. So what you need is the IELTS UKVI test, which I'll highly recommend that get in touch with me if you're not sure how to go about it. Again, check the link in the description box below. You'll see how to get in contact with me. You can also join my email newsletter where I'll send you any updates for any of the immigration rules and policies that are going on in the UK. So if you check the description box below, you can just drop your name and email, and if there's any changes, I will then send them to you. This is just a great way so that you don't have to rely on maybe missing out information and things like that. So I'll always just keep you updated. So obviously, like I was saying, first thing is to get your passport ready. The second thing is to get your IELTS UKVI out of the way, because you will need some evidence of English language, so that once this scheme is launched, once applications are open, you are the first person to apply. You will be ready, because if you're rushing then to try and get an international passport, obviously I don't know how long it takes in your country, but in many countries it can take a few months, and you don't want to miss out on opportunities. And talking about this is going to be a very big opportunity, because currently there are over 2 million vacancies in the UK in this sector. So if you come to the UK, it doesn't matter even if you have a degree or not, you can always upgrade yourself once you're here. Again, that's what I'm saying. I focus on career progression in the UK. So even if you're a nurse back home, or you're an accountant, or whatever job that you're doing, if you think I want to move to the UK, this is an excellent opportunity for you to kind of get your foot in and then decide and see what it is you want to do. Obviously, it doesn't mean that you're not able to make a living from these jobs, but it just means that if you want something else, if you want something more, once you get to the UK, you've got those opportunities to be able to upgrade yourself, to be able to venture into other things. You want to get into healthcare, or other sectors. So there's lots of opportunities. It's just about you taking that first step to be able to get your foot into the system, and then from there explore what else is available for you to do. So again, if you join my newsletter below, I'll make sure I keep you updated when any changes actually happen. So I'll be keeping you posted, I'll be keeping you updated on this particular change. As soon as the Prime Minister adds this to the shortage occupation list, recruitment is going to start immediately. So again, you want to get yourself ready. You want to inform your friends as well, and family who are able to benefit from this, because I know that there's currently the carer pathway that many people are trying to pursue to come to the UK, and this is generally not necessarily because people are interested in this pathway, but it's just because it is the easiest. Well, it is one that is unskilled, and so you don't need any particular qualifications to come through this pathway. So having this other pathway for catering and hospitality is going to just open other opportunities, so that if you're not interested in care, you can then obviously apply through this other sector. And it's also going to free up opportunities, obviously, for people who are truly interested in working in care, because currently it's become so competitive that it's incredibly challenging securing a job as a carer, because there are so many people applying. So at least having different pathways to get into the UK is going to just enable everybody to stand a fairer chance, to stand a bigger chance, and enable more to have opportunities. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification button so you're the first to be notified when I drop a new video. And again, make sure you watch this till the end, because I'm gonna be spilling all of the beans. Right, so the next good news is that not only is the Prime Minister going to add more jobs to the shortage occupation list, but she's also going to increase how many jobs, how many visas Britain can obviously give to overseas workers. Basically, how it works with the visas is that they would put a cap. For example, they would say between January and July of every year, you cannot give more than 30,000 visas, for example. So if that is the cap, it means that once 30,000 visas have been issued within that particular category, they will no longer issue any more visas within that period, which means that some people can end up getting their visas declined, not because they've done anything, but it's just because they have applied at a time when the immigration services are already overwhelmed by the number of applicants applying for that particular type of visa. So when you apply for your visa, it's actually very, very important, because those caps cover a particular period of time. Like I've said, for example, you can say between the 1st of January and the 30th of August, we can only issue 30,000 visas within this particular category, which means that if you're applying in January, you obviously have higher chances of being issued a visa, because you're applying just at the beginning of that cycle. But if somebody's applying, say in August, if they've already issued, say, the 30,000 visas, or maybe 29,000 visas, then obviously it's going to be more challenging, and sometimes you can end up with your visa being denied for this reason. So when you actually apply for a visa is incredibly important, which is why sometimes just getting that professional advice, just speaking to someone else who has a little bit more information about how the processes work, can really be helpful. So again, having more information about this particular type of visa that you're interested in applying for is also really important. So basically, once the Prime Minister adds these jobs to the strategic occupation list, she's going to increase the number of visas. So like I was explaining, if the previous cap was say 30,000, she will increase it to 60,000. That's actually the number that she's given, 60,000. But then mind you that because she's trying to cover up for 2 million vacancies within this particular sector, it's going to be interesting to see how long this visa runs for. But also considering that these are unskilled jobs, we can also expect that the number of people applying are going to be very high. So you've got to make sure that you've got everything ready now, like I was saying previously, so that once the applications are open, then you are ready. Because that's the advantage of watching this video right now and getting this information firsthand, being the first person, because this is a change that has only been announced today. So saying that the cap is going to be increased has only been announced today, which means that you're the first to know about this. So there's no excuse when the time comes and you're saying, oh, I didn't know, I've missed out. You don't want to miss out on opportunities like this, because I can assure you that these opportunities are not always going to be there. Because what happens is that once enough people are recruited, the visa laws are going to change again. Right, so we've now had two pieces of good news. So the first good news was that the Prime Minister is going to be adding some, jobs within hospitality and catering industry to the strategic occupation list. The second good news was that not only are these jobs going to be added to the strategic occupation list, but the number of visas issued for these jobs are also going to be significantly increased, because obviously they're aiming to fill about 2 million vacancies. So right now it's time to move to some bad news, because immigration updates, they don't only come with the good things, but while they're increasing the number of visas within certain areas, they're always then trying to reduce within another area. That's how it works, because that is net migration. So what they're trying to do is, let's bring into the UK the people that we really need, to support our economy, to support our businesses grow. But at the same time, we want to keep out of the UK those people that we don't really need and that we don't really want. That's how it works. Because with net migration, the immigration minister, who is obviously called the Home Secretary here in the UK, she has announced that her main agenda as a government minister is to make sure that she keeps net migration really low. This means that she does not want more people coming to the UK than people are leaving. So she wants a very good balance between the two numbers. For example, you don't want 10 million people coming to the UK and 1 million leaving, because then that's 9 million extra people within the UK. They don't want that. So the main aim is that they want to bring in people that they need. For example, nurses, they want to bring in carers, they want to bring in support workers, they want to bring in senior carers, they want to bring in people to work within catering and hospitality, working in farms, harvesting fruits and vegetables, and working in hotels, working in restaurants, working in pubs. Those are the people that they really need. Then the people that they don't really need, they want to get rid of them basically. And they have found a really good place for these people. So what they've said is students, so people that are coming to the UK with student visas, they're currently reviewing to kind of limit the number of dependents that they bring, or limit the people that they are able to bring as dependents. So what does this really mean? So currently, as the law stands, if you have a student visa to come to the UK, you can bring your family with you. So if you're married, for example, you can bring your spouse, you can bring your children with you. So you can either travel together when you're coming for the first time, or you can come to the UK and then bring those people later on. That's what the law says right now. But they are currently reviewing it to change it so that they can review who those students can bring. They could either say, look, we don't want students bringing any relatives, which means if you're in the UK on a student visa and you've got family, you're unable to bring your family. That's what it's going to mean. Or they can say, if you're in the UK, and you're a student, you can only bring your wife or your husband. You're not allowed to bring your kids, or you can bring only your kids. So we don't know obviously what they're going to decide, but that is currently under review. And we're going to know very soon once the outcome is announced. Again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe right now, turn on the notification button because you want to be the first to be notified. And again, just a reminder that you can join my newsletter, which is in the comment section. You can also check the description box below. Just drop your name and email, and I'll keep you informed of all those immigration changes and any kind of opportunities that come up in the UK. You'll be the first to be notified, because you don't want to miss out on opportunities or relying on just coming across a random YouTube video. So you do want to make sure that you're informed, and you can do that by joining my email list below. Simply drop your name and email, and any changes, I'll then send you an email with whatever changes there are. So again, why did this come about? The student visa change or review. It came about because data from the last 12 months has shown that not only has the number of students moving to the UK increased exponentially to about 450,000 students coming in a year, but the number of dependents, that is family members, that these students are bringing has also increased drastically. And there were some really staggering numbers and statistics included obviously in this report, and 3 countries were mentioned. Nigeria, for example, they found that 35,000 students, for example, brought in about 31,000 relatives. So what this means is that if you're giving 100,000 visas out, for example, you're going to be expecting almost 100,000 extra visas of other relatives coming alongside those students. Obviously that's a very high number, so they're currently looking at how they can reduce those numbers by looking at the profiles of those people that are coming. Who are they? What do they do when they get to the UK? Are they working? Are they studying? Are they being productive? How old are they? So those are the statistics that are going to look at to then decide what exactly the changes are going to be. Another country mentioned was also India. So what they found was that there were so many Indian relatives that were brought in by students, and so they're looking at how the profiles of those people, who are they, what are they doing once they get to the UK? Are they elderly? Are they young people? Are they productive? Are they also coming to study? Are they working? So if they find obviously that these dependents coming are taking up vital jobs where they have shortages, I think it's going to be maintained. If they don't, then I'm afraid they're going to bring some changes that may not be favorable for students coming into the UK. So another country mentioned was Libya. So Libya had around 222 students in the last 12 months that came from Libya, but these 222 students brought in over 400 relatives. So they brought in double the number of relatives. So again, it's looking at the fact that how can you give visas to 200 people, and then those 200 people bring in 400 other people. So again, it's reviewing the status, reviewing the quality in quotes of those people, seeing what they're doing once they get to the UK. From my experience, obviously many dependents, when they get to the UK, they're generally working, because these students are generally young people still in their working age, so their spouses are going to be young as well. They'll have young children, so it's not like they're causing any harm. In fact, if anything, this same review also found that students have brought in over 26 billion to the UK economy. We all know that the UK has ridiculous tuition fees, very, very high fees, and some universities are charging as far as 20,000 for courses, where British students are paying £9,000 for these courses. A friend of mine who is studying medicine, she is paying 37,000 per year, when her British counterparts are only paying 9,000 for the same course. So again, you can see the staggering differences when you're studying as an international student. So again, these are some of the laws. If you join my email list, I'll keep you updated. If you're interested in career progression in the UK, then again, I can support you with that, because that's something that I'm passionate about. Not only have I taken the time to develop my own career in the UK, but I've also ensured that I've put a program in place to support you to be able to develop yourself as well. Make sure that you get the job you want, make sure that you're not struggling, make sure that you understand the rules, the laws, the policies, the expectations, and just so that you can be able to thrive in your UK journey. And you can now go ahead and watch this other video.